Welcome to the Dysfunction Junkies podcast, where we may not have seen it all, but we've seen enough. And now, here are your hosts, Chrisy and Kerry.
Hello, junkies. Welcome back. I'm Kerry.
And I'm Chrisy.
Chrisy. We had a pretty interesting episode last week. We were diving down the rabbit hole of our aging parents. How you feeling? That's a long pause.
Yeah, I'm trying to think how I'm feeling about that. You know, it feels good to talk about it.
Yes.
And I think it is good to talk about it, especially somebody who totally gets it.
Yes.
But it also is a little draining.
It is very draining.
We need a pick-me-up on this topic. We can, because really, where does all of our dysfunction stem from? And we're not trying to point fingers. No judgment, no blame.
No.
But it kind of does start with the mom and dad a little bit. Yeah, and then their mom and dad. It's an endless cycle, everyone. It is.
And that's what worries me is like, okay, that means I'm the cycle that's next. So am I becoming like my parents?
You got to really fight not to.
I know.
But come on. We can't be liars to ourselves and say that sometimes we don't catch that. Oh my God, that's sort of like what my mom and my dad would do. Why am I being this way?
Exactly.
But I guess recognizing it is the first step.
That's true.
To bettering it.
That's true.
I hope.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. What were some of the sayings that your mom or dad would say that like you might catch yourself saying now, or that you were like, oh, I'm never going to use that one as an adult?
Well, there's quite a few things my father used to say, but I can't repeat.
You can't repeat that.
No.
My mom used to always say, it's going to get worse before it gets better.
Well, oh yeah. And I that one, and I told you my whole philosophy was it's just going to be bad.
Right.
Worse and worse. But yeah, my mom, quiet. She made me do crazy things, but not really any sayings. Now, my husband's mom, a lovely lady, he always reminds me of things that she used to say.
And was?
Well, one was, you need to be the better person. Oh. So when you're like, well, somebody's doing this to me, so I'm going to do this. And my husband will always come at me and go, Chrisy, you got to be the better person.
Aww.
And I'm like, wait a minute.
Do you remember who you married, Nick?
Well, there's one. And two, who the hell told this lie? And again, I think it's somebody who probably was not the person getting screwed over.
True.
It was somebody saying, I'm doing this horrible thing to you, but you're going to be the better person, right? Be the better person. Who's judging this?
Yeah, really.
And the other one that my husband told me recently that I freaked out about, because I'm like, another stupid rule. Where did this come from? 2 wrongs don't make a right. First of all, this encompasses 2 things I hate: math and bullshit. Two wrong. Who says 2 wrongs don't make a right? Maybe if I take 2 wrong turns, I might still get right where I need to be.
Well, this is true.
That woman on the GPS that's always annoying the hell out of me.
We call her Maplissa.
Oh my God. One time I was in a car test driving a car with a guy, and the sales guy was in the back, and that thing was on, and I said, this is so horrible, and I'm going to offend women. I don't know. I might offend men. I'm going to offend everybody right now. But I told him, I says, I can see why you guys block us women out. I said, because listening to this woman give me directions is annoying the hell out of me. I'm like, can you change up the voice? Maybe, to an accent, or maybe a little kid could give me directions. I would love a little kid to tell me where to go. Go down this road for 2 more miles. Are you sure 2 more miles? How many Tonka trunks is it before I get to my destination?
That's like the Alexas, how you can change the voices on those. We have a couple Alexas around our house and in our barn and stuff. One of them is like an Australian accent guy. And I love it. It's the same thing you're saying, but then we have some of them that are the woman's voice.
Well, it could be a woman, but I mean, she's very authoritarian. Is that the word? I mean, and what's funny is the Alexa we have in our house, it likes everybody but me.
Oh, that's my husband. He doesn't listen to him.
It will not. I'll tell it, set a timer, play this song. It crickets. Dead silence. And then my daughter or my husband will
talk to her
right away.
Yeah.
Okay, setting a timer.
Mine will say, "Good morning, Kerry," in the male sexy voice. And then it won't talk to my husband. He'll be like, "Good morning, Kerry." Like, he gets all annoyed by it because the Alexa said good morning.
Well, mine says good morning when I tell it, or good afternoon, or good evening whenever I'm asking it to do something. If it does listen to my command, it doesn't acknowledge me at all. It always says my daughter's name.
Oh.
It says her name.
Oh, that's so
and
funny.
I just get this, I scrunch my face up and smirk a little to myself. But I'm just like, look, just do what I want. I don't care what you want to call me today. Just do it. Put the timer on, please, so I know what time to take this stupid dinner out.
Oh my. You know, one of the things growing up there was a girl, you might know, were you ever a Girl Scout? As soon as I said that, I wanted to suck the question back in.
Wow, you really went there. And you asked me if I was a Girl Scout.
I regretted it as soon as it was coming up. I thought maybe your mom made you or something.
Well, come on. Mom would have told me to do it. Does it require her to be involved? Not happening. But you do it, Chrissy. And I'll show up every once in a while. Yeah, no Girl Scouts here. No brownie. No.
Okay, well, we had a Girl Scout camp not far from growing up where I lived, but now it's actually like literally a mile around the corner from my house now. And oh gosh, where was I even going with the Girl Scout camp? Oh, okay, Crazy Kate. So anyways, right before you got to the entrance of the Girl Scout camp, and this was like way out in the country. So there was this farmhouse, and it had this lady, and everyone knew her as Crazy Kate. I don't know if Kate was her first name. I don't know, but that was the legend of Crazy Kate. And this lady, like, everyone talked about her because of all like the weird things that she did. Well, when we moved back to Ohio and we got our farm, I quickly started realizing, like, oh my God, I'm turning into Crazy Kate, because I found myself doing some of the things that we would see Crazy Kate do.
What was she doing?
And now it made sense to me. One of the things that she would do is be like in the middle of the field, la 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 la, looking around at the sky and like, you know, whatever. And so, well, when we moved to our farm, we have barn swallows, just a little bird.
Oh,
you're looking at me like,
I
you
was
have no
like, wait
idea.
a minute, that sounds like something dirty.
No.
And it sounds like a huge undertaking too. Okay.
Barn swallows are a little bird.
Okay, a living bird. Okay.
Yeah, it's a living bird, and they catch like little bugs. And I love these little birds. Like they just fascinate me. So if we're mowing the grass, that like stirs up all the bugs. So they get real active and they'll start swarming. I'll be mowing the grass and I'll like realize I'm looking at the birds swarming and my lines are no longer straight.
Oh boy.
So
good thing you're out in the country.
Yeah. Well,
you get somebody will totally
my husband
ticket you if you did that in our neighborhood.
Oh yeah. Well, needless to say, Jim will often have to come and remow what I did because the lines weren't straight. I realized one day when I was out there and I was like, la, 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 look at the birds. Like, you know, nobody else could see the little birds swooping around, but I'm out there mowing in this crazy pattern. So I'm like, oh, maybe Crazy Kate was looking at the little birds.
Might be.
And then we put a flagpole up, and it's kind of in the middle of this big field that's right next to our house. When the concrete was curing, we wanted to, you know, put our initials and stuff in it. Well, we poured the concrete like the night before. 6 a.m, I go out to do chores, and I thought, oh, let me go check the concrete. Well, it was almost already hardened up. So here I am, 6 a.m, carving our initials in the middle, like, but no one could see that because the pole wasn't in the ground. So you just see this lady at 6 a.m. in the middle of this field digging up something or whatever. And I'm like, I'm sure it looked crazy to all the people on 224 driving by our farm. So again, my thought was, oh yeah, Crazy Kate. Crazy Kate was probably digging in the grass doing something, you know?
Right.
And so, but you didn't know the whole story, you know? And so.
Well, when you're a kid too.
Exactly.
The storytelling.
Right,
you
right.
just want to totally make it fascinating.
Right,
so
right.
you do like sort of
amplify it.
Create these fantastic scenarios.
The other thing I found myself doing was we had a little goat and a little sheep walking. We have 6-7 acres. And so I had them out and I was walking around the property and all these little animals, like I was like the Pied Piper and all these little animals were following me. And so again, I was like, this is Crazy Kate. You know, it's kind of funny. I catch myself doing things and then I'll ask the same thing like, oh, what am I doing? That was my parents. But the Crazy Kate thing always gets me when I'm at my house and I'm doing something silly outside or prospectively silly. I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm Crazy Kate. I'm the new Crazy Kate. And I'm only a mile from the original Crazy Kate. Crazy Kate 2.0.
Well, yes. So when you were talking about this lady living sort of like that, right away I was thinking, sounds a little bit like the Blair Witch.
I've only seen snippets of it because I don't
What,
like
that movie?
I know.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Okay.
You know how I feel
Yeah,
about
I
it.
know. Oh well, we'll talk about that another time.
What were some of the things that your moms and dad did growing up that catch you?
Well, superstitions
Yeah.
are a crazy thing. And I think at some point, everybody's a victim to that.
Yeah.
My mom has some that is very crazy, I
Okay.
guess, to say the least. Although maybe some people also have these. So one of them is that's always a problem. And sometimes it affects everybody else too. Is,
Uh-oh.
according to my mother,
Okay.
you cannot exit the door of someone's house that you didn't come through when you came there.
Oh,
So you must exit the same door you entered.
okay.
So if you're at someone's house and all of a sudden that door is no longer available or it's more convenient for them to let you out a different way,
Uh-huh.
my mom is in full panic. Or if you try to exit somebody's
different
house,
way.
she remembers.
Oh.
She
broke
catalogs.
the rules.
She knows where you came in.
Oh. And how does she like hurry up and escort
She's
you
like-
to the right door?
She's like, no, we need to go out that. You need to go out that door. I don't know what's going to happen.
Wow.
If you, but there's a side note, footnote.
There's a caveat.
If it's your house,
Okay.
you can come and go any door you want. You could jump out the window, jump off the roof, do whatever you want. But if you're visiting, that
So if
rule
I
applies.
came to your house and I went in the front door,
Yeah.
and then say we went outside to your backyard and I was going to leave, I couldn't just go out the gate to the car. I'd have to go back in through the house and back through the front door.
If my mother was hosting you, yes, she would shuffle you. I mean, I would tell you if she's there. I mean, she's here now. We could
Right.
try it after when you go to leave.
But she didn't see what door I came
Well,
in.
she knew we told you guys to come through the other door because where she's at, we didn't want the cold air to hit her.
Right,
you know,
right. Okay.
Delicate little sweetheart that she is. And another one was you can't go home after a funeral. Don't go straight home.
Where are you supposed to go?
Something you know the saying you don't have to go home but you can't stay here. Well, you can't go home, but you can go wherever the hell else you want that's not your home.
So after a funeral, what would you have to go do?
All of us, because generally you're not going to a funeral by yourself.
Yeah.
And chances are if you're by yourself, you're gonna be like, look, I'm just gonna do whatever. I gotta get home. I can't be doing this.
Damn any superstitions.
But generally
Throw
you're
some
with a
salt over
group.
my shoulder and I'll be fine.
Yeah, right. You hope. But so you're in a group of people. You're all in the same car. You're going home. Oh no, we gotta go here. I mean, it was just, and everybody participated in this. We would normally stop at a gas station
Okay.
and mull around in funeral clothes, like the Night of the Living Dead in there, because we just came from.
So if you pulled into the gas station on the way home, if your dad went into the store,
No, you
all had to.
Yeah,
Everybody had to physically cross another threshold.
Yes. And I'm guessing you
you
had
don't-
to drop off any sort of dead spirits that you had attached to you. So I would tell everybody now that this is a warning. When you
Okay.
go to the gas station,
You're gonna.
there's probably a bunch of dropped off dead spirits just roaming the aisles, getting gas, getting a Slurpee, maybe robbing the joint. But,
Okay, but if you stopped and got gas and you all got out of the car but didn't go into the store, would that still count? Like, say you just got out of the car
I
and,
don't
you know, like,
no.
had a cigarette break
No.
or whatever. No, you had to physically go into another building.
Yeah, you had to enter,
Cross another threshold.
and make sure you exit that door
the same way you went in.
Yeah, if there's two exits, don't you dare.
So the in and out rule didn't make just home. It was everywhere.
Yeah, you mean you could go to like
Like
J.C. Penney's or something?
Yeah, if I went into the east entrance at JCPenney's, did I have to leave the east entrance or could I go through the north entrance out?
Yeah, probably because
I wasn't home
over there.
Well,
Unless
okay,
you're getting picked up. unless you're getting picked up.
Okay, there's caveats.
Well, see, now this isn't a residence now.
That's why I'm asking. Is
Yeah.
it commercial or
no,
residence?
It was residence.
It was only, okay.
Yeah. Retail didn't count.
Retail.
Retail.
We got to get the rules right.
I know.
Chrissy.
And you know what's really terrifying is that you're sitting here asking me questions I've never been asked, and yet I know the answers. And there is nothing written
There's
anywhere.
no rule book.
You don't get a booklet on this. You just get it ingrained in yourself, your soul. And it's like, what? Why? So then my mom added another footnote years later.
Uh-oh.
Because then she's like, well, you can't even go home after you go to the cemetery. And for some reason, my family loved to go to the cemetery and stare at stones with people's names on it. Let's stop off at the cemetery, stop at so-and-so's grave. And my mom was like, oh, we can't go home. And I was like, stop.
Oh, so even if it wasn't from a funeral, so it wasn't like funeral cemetery, you're talking like, hey, we're just going to go to the cemetery and pay our respects. Then that rule also applied.
It started to.
Oh, okay.
It didn't always seem to be that way. But then something happened. I don't know if like...
That was a Jane Rule 2.0?
Yeah. And it's like, wait a minute. I don't remember this being the rule. And guess what? No, we're not doing this. Guess what? I just won't go to the cemetery. I mean, I understand people get, and they get some, satisfaction
Yeah.
and some great, that's the way they can relate. And that's fine. Absolutely. But yeah, with my mom, you're just going to learn to not go places anymore because you
these
just
rules
can't
might pop up.
deal with it. Another thing was you couldn't have live fish in the house. What? I mean, dead fish, game on.
Well, yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah.
The night of the 7 fishes.
More fish, the merrier, as long as they're dead. But if you have fish as a pet.
So you never had a pet fish?
No, one time my sister took me long time ago. Used to be a store a long time ago called G.C. Murphy's. And we're talking, I don't even know if that one cracked the 80s as far as its existence. It's an old store. They had a little pet section, I think my sister got me a pink and a blue goldfish.
Oh.
And I was so excited. Oh, these lovely fish, because they kind of look like toys. And brought them home, and my mom came home and saw a little fish bowl with these swimming fish in them.
Oh my gosh.
Freaked out.
No.
Freak. Get those out of the house right now. Made my sister take them back. I don't know if she even made it back. She might have dumped them down the toilet. I don't know what happened to them. So horrible. But my mother would not allow them in the house. It's bad luck. It's bad luck.
So it wasn't that she didn't want pet fish. It was just you cannot have fish in the house.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
But isn't fish a symbol of the original fisherman? Jesus, our Lord.
Yeah, they do the fish symbol. Yeah.
And he was a fisherman. But he obviously wasn't taking live fish home.
He didn't have a pet fish.
No. He was doing it for
no
food.
beta fish for him.
No. So whenever I go, and it's still to this day, Kerry, if I go to somebody's house
and they have pet fish
and they have fish,
a fish
I
tank?
get a little sweaty.
Get PTSD.
Because I'm like, oh my God, how's your luck going here? Everything going good, you guys? Nobody's gotten hurt, dead, anything now? Okay, wow. Oh my God.
Dodged a bullet on that.
Yeah, I got to get out of here though, because it's a ticking time bomb here, people. I don't know.
Good thing I didn't have any fish in my house when you started coming back.
And what's funny is I think both of my sisters, especially my one sister, had like aquariums all over her house.
Oh.
And they're beautiful.
Yeah.
I do really like them. They are lovely to watch.
Okay.
And I know they're a little bit to maintain, I'm guessing, because you have to keep them clean. And they're relaxing. My son, we go anywhere and they have he's like fascinated. Of course you are. They're fun to watch. But
now, okay, so here's another, going back to like the question we had on the gas station there. If you go to a retail establishment that has an aquarium, like if you went to Bass Pro Shop where they have would your mom be equally freaked out, or it was only residential that you couldn't have pet fish?
Oh yeah, no, just residential.
It's
just residential that's affected.
These are residential rules.
Retail seems to be exempt from all of these rules, thank goodness. Because it'd be like, well, I can't go here, I can't go there, I can't go here, I can't go here.
Oh my God.
I unfortunately am a victim, because I do watch a lot of movies.
Yes.
Of a superstition that my husband gets very mad at me because I freak out if I see this happen here.
What?
And if I accidentally do it, I freak out on myself.
What did you do?
Don't ever have a hat on a bed.
Oh, yeah. That's a big cowboy thing.
Is it a cowboy thing?
It is a big cowboy thing.
Well, it makes sense because the movie that I learned that from, Drugstore Cowboy.
Oh, I don't know it.
It's about people who rob drugstores.
Oh.
I think it's actual based on a true story. They rob they're drug addicts.
Okay.
So they're drugstore cowboys.
Oh.
And Matt Dillon, and somebody my age, yum. Gotta love Matt Dillon. If Matt Dillon tells me don't put a hat on a bed, no way, dude. I will not put a hat on a bed. Thank you, Matt Dillon. My husband will sometimes get very mad at me because I will see one of his ball caps on the bed or even on the foot of on the railing.
Okay. Oh, it can't even hang on the rail.
Technically it probably could because it's not on the bed, but sort of it kind of is on the bed.
Yeah, no.
But I will grab that thing and whip it. I was like, out of here, goodbye. No hats anywhere near this bed. Damn you.
So funny that you say that. You must not be a Yellowstone fan then.
I watched some of it, and it's a good show.
Okay.
Yeah, I did watch some of it.
There was not too long ago an episode on Yellowstone in the final season-ish here, and one of the characters passes away. And when they went to his bunk in the bunkhouse to clean things out, his hat was on the bed.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And the one character was like, isn't that bad luck? And the other character was like, well, it doesn't matter now because the guy's dead.
Yeah. Oh,
but
boy.
That was interesting that you bring that one up because that was just on the Yellowstone not too long ago.
Yeah. Well, death was related to the incident in the Drugstore Cowboy too. That they kind of connected because there was a disbeliever in their group, somebody they had picked up that was part of their little posse, and the character was just sort of a pain in the butt through the whole thing, and just to prove everybody wrong, she tossed her hat on the bed and said, "This is stupid. You people are stupid. Why do you believe this stupid stuff?"
And then she died.
They found her dead. Again, that's another reason to reinforce me. Oh my God. Don't put the hat on the bed. Don't put the hat on the bed.
Well,
do you have any superstitions?
There wasn't necessarily superstitions, but there was definitely idiosyncrasies. Let's call them idiosyncrasies.
Okay, if you want to, go ahead.
My dad was so addicted to salt. He salted everything, anything. He would just and he was one of those, he wouldn't even taste his food. He would just automatically start pounding the salt on it.
So it didn't matter, did it need it or not?
Exactly. He just salt, okay. Which is why I think a lot of times, I don't cook with a lot of salt. I might put a little tiny bit in, but then I leave it for whoever's eating to taste it. Cause if he made anything, it was so salty. So, right. This is how you know you may have a salt addiction. So my dad was in the hospital because of some heart issue. I wonder why. Too much salt. So anyway, they put him on a no salt diet. So no sodium for him as he's in the hospital. And he was there for I don't know, a couple days or whatever. And he was going through so much salt addiction. And he wore contacts. I told my mom, well, when you come and visit me, I need saline solution for my contacts.
Oh, no.
So my mom brings in, a bottle of saline solution. He opens it up and he starts putting it on his food.
Oh my God.
He was using the saline solution to get salt on his food because they put him on a no salt.
Oh my gosh.
It was to this day, I remember being in the hospital going, I don't think you're supposed to be doing that. It kind of defeats the nose. And ew, you're putting salt or saline solution on your lettuce.
Oh my God. Anybody here wear contact lenses? Do not go into room 256. 256. Don't enter with your saline solution. Wow,
isn't that bad?
That's bad. That's really.
Yeah. My brother-in-law and I were just recently talking about this the other day while we were having lunch with my mom. Because I think he was salting something, and I'm like, oh, I can't even. And we were this reminisced and brought this subject up. So, anyways, he goes, I'll never forget your dad would go get pepperoni pizza, full of pepperoni, and the first thing he would do is come home and he'd salt it. And it's like, pepperoni, come on, there's how much salt in that, Yeah. But he would be adding the salt to it. So I looked at my mom. I'm like, Mom, do you remember Dad doing these things? She goes, well, what's crazier is that I married him.
Well, she might have a point there. Oh my God.
That was the cutest little most innocent thing. But yeah. Salting.
Salt. Well, my dad likes salt.
Yeah.
And I think he did have high blood pressure. We did have like a salt substitute thing going on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was called no salt.
Yeah, right.
It's like, I can't believe it's not butter.
Yeah, I know. Well, what is it? I don't know. I don't like anything that tells me it's not something that
Saline
it's trying
solution.
to be. Well, yeah. What are they advertising? But one thing, and I guess I found out that this actually wasn't that unusual, even if you were not a salt addict. My dad would salt watermelon.
Oh, my husband loves that.
Yeah. So I think that's a thing. It's certainly not to the level of whatever your dad had. He was obviously suffering from some sort of deprivation of salt, and he needed it in his diet as quickly as possible. The other thing I remember when I was little, I had a friend over, and we were eating something, and obviously it required some salting, and she must have dropped some salt on the table when she was salting her food.
Okay.
So she grabbed like a handful, and she threw it over her shoulder.
Oh yeah, the whole throwing the salt over the shoulder.
I was like, what did you just do? Why are you throwing stuff on the what the hell was that?
Why are you throwing food in my house?
She's like, because I spilled salt. You got to do another crazy superstition.
If you spill
whipping salt. What? Who the hell told you to do that? The salt into Morton?
Yes, they could.
Because you know how often you spill salt all the time. It's little. It goes all over. So they probably just figure we'll tell everybody that if you spill it, spill more.
Yeah.
And then you have to buy more. What a fantastic marketing idea.
Hey, they made millions.
Be paranoid about what people tell you to do. It's really, really got an underhanded reasoning behind it.
Oh my gosh. So I think every little bit, every day I find something little that I do. I go, as much as I try to do better.
That's the other thing. We're all here trying to do better.
I still catch myself doing these things. So
yeah. They are with us all the time.
Good time, good memories. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that probably wraps up today's show.
Yeah. I gotta get to a funeral and then go get some gum at the convenience store.
So we want to hear what crazy superstitions or things that your family maybe did or that you catch yourself doing, or maybe what do you find yourself doing that's reminiscent of your parents that used to make you go, oh my gosh, I'm never going to do that. And then now you're doing it. So let us know.
Please give me something else, because the ones I have, I need to change it up.
All right, everybody. Have a wonderful week. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye-bye.